Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with this week's power rankings. I got Kamel here with me. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I am chilling, and let's get into it. That's all I gotta
Well,
say.
this week I have a lot to prove. I don't know if you were privy to the Herf versus Circus video
Yeah,
last week, but
it was a good video.
Herf made a prediction, and I said, "You're a fool." So we're gonna have to see how that turned out this week. So
For those who don't know, Herf is a big fan of invoked roids. He thinks it's the future of invoked. So.
yeah, he says it's the new hotness. I said, "You, sir, are a fool." So, you don't know what we do in this video series is we track decks and see how they perform in tournaments throughout the week. We then give them points based on how they finish, and then we tally the points and then rank them. Now, all the tournaments have to meet the criteria of having rounds of Swiss into a top cut. They also have to be a one-deck format with it's 7-card side now, right?
7-card side deck.
And they can sub in a skill if they want to. All right. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it's going to get 6 points. A second place finish is 4 points. A top 4 is 2 points, and a top 8 is a single point. Now the tournaments that meet the criteria I was talking about, there was like 10 of them this week. The Battle Phase series.
Very good, very good.
And then
but look, it's all us.
There was a lot because we had a lot going on. We had 6 tournaments in the Meta Freaklies on Sundays and Fridays, the Meta Weekly, and then the Pharaoh's Cash tournament was back this week. So 10.
It's all Battle Phase. Always has been.
All right, so there you go. Now this one, I'm not surprised. A lot of people say there's 2 versions of this deck. Ryan, myself, we don't recognize that. We recognize one version of this deck.
Well, that's something we could definitely talk about, and I want to get your opinion on it. But
okay, so in #1 place with 46 points, Shiranui. Right. Look at that.
Okay, oof. And 46 points is very good. Shiranui. Now, like you were saying, Shiranui, after the first week of Zexal, things were kind of spread apart. Crystals were kind of showing that they were very powerful, but now Shiranui have kind of adapted themselves for the Zexal meta, and they've done that from a new build emerging that the community has dubbed Combo
Worst
Shiranui.
Name ever, but we'll get into that in a minute.
And due to the birth of Combo Shiranui, the old Shiranui is now being referred to as Control Shiranui.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible.
From looking at the rest of the power rankings, the decks that were performing well last week, Crystron's Dark Magician, Karkari, Ritual Beasts, have just taken up those remaining top 5 spots with things like Goki Hero and Invoked Roids at 8.
What I tell you?
Man, I mean, they got top 10.
Well,
but not
Herf said top 5. Herf said top 5.
Ooh,
so
yeah, he did say top 5 in the video.
I win. So there you go.
He did say top 5 in the video. So let's get right into her.
All right, Shiranui. First place.
So
look at these tops, dude. Look at that. Look at how.
Shame on you. Shame on you, Circus, for not having a Combo Shiranui list.
Because it doesn't win tournaments. It doesn't win tournaments. The first place finishes were the quote-unquote control style. So that's why
both of them?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Battle Phase Monday and Battle Phase Friday. Yeah.
Shiranui 46 wins. That's a very dominant showing. 2 tournament wins, 2 tournament runner-ups. That's 6 top 4s, and that is 9 top 8s. So this deck is around, but this is counting both of the versions. So you may be asking, what's the difference between these two versions of the deck, right? Circus has this version of it because it's winning tournaments.
Because it wins.
This is what we're all used to. Right. This is what we're all used to. The Combo Shiranui with the help the Control Shiranui with the help of Gozuki and this heavy back row. It's what we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
That skill is probably level duplication or something like that, right?
Yep. And then the Combo Shiranui actually runs more Shiranui cards.
Yes, the Combo Shiranui is what I think would be more sensible to refer to it as is pure Shiranui.
Right.
It uses a lot of Shiranui cards and it focuses around, using your Shiranuis as your primary win condition, right? And forwarding that play style to win you the game instead of disrupting your opponent with back row primarily and then waiting for your Shiranui engine to pop off, right? It plays things like the sealing ceremony of Catan that lets you banish your fire monsters to disrupt your opponent. Banishing your fire monsters, of course, gives you that advantage as well.
Spirit
Needle
Master
sealing,
making a big comeback. Yep.
Needle sealing as well to keep your guys in control while you have your your zombie archfiend, whatever. And then Ghost meets Girl. This is huge. This is the card that people are saying is making it combo Shiranui. I'll just read it real quick. If your opponent controls a monster, discard one zombie monster, special summon a Shiranui from your deck or graveyard, and you can special summon only zombies. So that's not even a steep cost, and you're special summon a Shiranui.
Why wasn't this getting used before is the question. People just thought, nah, it's garbage. I got Ballista Squad.
Yeah, I mean, people thought they probably felt that you needed to use more slots in your deck to disrupt your opponent because Shiranui, that's what they kind of lacked, right?
Right.
While they kind of were able to make synchro monsters, but getting to there, they needed that help from just having more effective back row.
Right.
So Ghost Boots Girl didn't really have a space, but now they don't really have to rely on that as much
because they can combo.
They can combo. They can. It's so strange. This deck is. I can see why it's not winning tournaments. Right. It definitely can falter in the side deck meta. Easily disruptible. It seems.
Well, it's funny because all the breakdowns that I saw, and I would just start groaning because I know people are going to be like, Circus, we should have breakdowns of both Shiranui decks. And I can tell you it's about 2/3 to 1/3 control versus combo. So people are still playing 2/3 control versus 1/3 combo, typically.
If you want to see a combo Shiranui list, feel free to come in the Discord. But,
there you go.
We're not recognizing the split, I don't think.
It's all Shiranui here. All right?
It's Shiranui. It's all Shiranui. Always.
You can change your back row all you want. It's Shiranui. Now I'm gonna go into the conversion rates here. This is where shit gets crazy. This is hilarious. This is the highest number I've seen for times played of Shiranui ever. Check this out. Overall representation: 218 people played Shiranui this past week.
Ooh. Now, Circus, I actually have a hypothesis for this, because you get needle sealing from the Valiant Souls box, so people who they kind of followed the path that they went with guys Shiranui, they were playing combo Shiranui, man. I think combo Shiranui is way more accessible than control Shiranui. You don't have to run mandatory 12 heavy traps that are all URs in different boxes. And now a lot of these traps are more accessible, right? Like the Fiendish Chain. Yep. So people are playing Shiranui more. They're feeling more comfortable bringing their incomplete Shiranui decks that may have been free to play before that are now equipped with cards like Fiendish Chain and Canadia. So
look at the overall, the top 8 conversion rate. This is the highest I've seen it when the representation
9%.
Has been this high.
Yeah, so Shiranui did have a very good week despite us beaming on it. 218 decks, 9%. That's very good. We've seen Shiranui with less participation with this, albeit more than any other deck, and have a 6%, 5%, 4%, 9% for Shiranui is very, very good.
And there is a guy in one of the videos that I need to apologize to. He was in the comment section and said, why don't you guys recommend Shiranui as a new deck? And I said, with a very pompous attitude, I said, Shiranui is a deck on the decline, and I have 6 months of tournament proof if you need to look at it. And then 2 weeks later, here we are, Shiranui in first place. So it's going back up now. It's going back up.
This is because Xyz era flopped.
Yep.
And Shiranui were the sole deck that did not get struck down by the ban list, and they're doing very well right now.
I wouldn't say Xyz is popped. Is just or flopped.
It did. Until we get new cards.
Yeah, I want to say it was great, but no, it wasn't even good. The Xyz are really great in an auto duel situation. That's about it. Not even there. Yeah, but you still have to protect them.
We have the grassroots of it.
I like how
you don't have enough yet.
All right, let's move on to second place. This is the deck that is just around, or it's around more now than it was back in the day. Right. Here's the deck. There we go. before it was like tier 1, it wasn't scoring points, it wasn't anywhere. Now it's not a tier 1 deck and is doing great. Look at all these finishes it had, scoring 24 points, just a really solid week for Kristrons.
Yeah, Kristrons, like you said, in the past, it wasn't seeing much play, and that is because Kristrons can only be as strong as
System
the
down.
deck that as strong as System Down or the deck that absolutely destroys it in the meta.
Right.
And right now, there's no deck that absolutely destroys Kristrons in the meta, so they are running rampant. And even though System Down is more prevalent now, it is more effective against Kristrons because of the hit to Crystron impact. They can still recover from System Down in a tournament, in a side deck format. That's why we see them consistently winning tournaments and topping 1 tournament win, 2 second places. We'll see in their conversion rates just how effective those results were. But Kristrons, one of the few decks that can come back from their counter cards in tournaments.
Well, it was funny because I did Battle Face Sunday last week, and our final was Ritual Beast Kristrons, and we saw System Down and Poisonous wins in the same game. And actually, one of them was a double Poisonous wins.
And the System Down was more fatal. That's crazy.
Yeah, Ritual Beast came out with the win on that. All right, let's check out the conversion rates on the Kristrons here. Look at this. Overall representation, that's still pretty healthy. Almost 80 people playing this particular deck. And look at that top 8 conversion rate, 13%. So the people there's more people playing it, and they're getting better at it. Because usually we see like 20 people playing Kristrons with a conversion rate of 10% or something like that. So
this is probably some of the highest numbers we've seen for representation for Kristrons, and a 13% conversion rate to the top 8 is that's great. That's probably going to put it in contention for the highest of the week.
Yes, it did very well, very well. So.
Yeah, Kristron's definitely powerful. Not much stopping it besides the System Down. Of course, you can see it is very expensive, but a lot of these things 50% off. Jenixon died 50% off.
Well, a lot of people complaining, oh, this deck's been around forever. Well, with a deck like this, if you can kind of ease into it and slowly build it, you know, and it's still good when you get done, is nice. Instead of having to drop, let's say, $400 up front or whatever, 40,000 gems in a month's time to try to get all the cards, you know, you can kind of spread it out a little bit. The deck's still going to be around, so I don't think that's a bad thing.
Right, and Kristrons are going to be good in the future, man. You can count on it. Xyz summoning with this deck. They can have the ability to special summon multiple monsters of the same level very easily, so in the future, rank 3 monsters. Check it out.
Well, they can go into that Gaga reptile thing that has 2950
attack. They could, yeah, if they want to. Gaga the Risen.
Yeah, why is that even there? Why is that even there?
He's the card trader, man.
I know, but 2950 vanilla monster for 3, it takes 3 monsters, and you can't even detach them. It doesn't do anything. Why? Why?
Then you use overlay. They use overlay gain, and he gains 600 attack.
So that's what?
And he's
at that point, that's like a 5-card combo.
50.
That's a 5-card combo. Oh my god.
No, that's a skill. That's a skill.
Oh, it's a skill. Okay.
Oh man, you just got. Oh, in my new video. Oh man, I actually did mention overlay.
I don't watch that crap. Come on. All right, let's move on. Next one. This is a pretty stable deck that I feel pretty comfortable recommending to new players. I'm not saying run out and get it right now, but Dark Magician, just a good steady deck that just isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't see Konami putting this to bed or just saying, get out of here, we don't like you, Dark Magician. You know,
yeah, this is another deck that people have referred to recently as an insect deck. But yeah, Dark Magician definitely did not get hit on the recent ban list. And
like a cockroach deck, is that what you mean? like a nuclear bomb goes off and it still lives? Yeah, okay. That's great.
And so, Dark Magician is just doing very well now. 2 tournament wins on the week. And do you know of any deck that has a very strong matchup against Dark Magician right now?
No, not overly. I mean, they just get set up on their first turn and then it's over. It just seems like
essentially, right?
Actually, on stream last night, I know people probably missed it, but we were just memeing on stream, and we went up a guy, and it was Rod, Circle, Navigation. We're like, oh, we're screwed. We tried to play it out, we lost. We looked at his deck. He literally only had one rod, one circle, one navigation, and the rest was just all free to play cards, and he still just destroyed us because he had that one combo. It was just disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's how strong this deck is. Yeah.
Yeah, you can swap into the conversion rates, but I was just gonna say the winning list that we see for Dark Magicians has changed quite a bit. Dark Magicians no longer have to worry about outing like troublesome cards like Casitas, so you can see cards like the Dark Magic Expanded and Eye of Tamias are no longer a part of these lists. They could just straight up run Raigeki Break, Dark Magic Curtain to make sure they always have a Dark Magician on the field. So,
so there you go. Look at that top 8 conversion rate. 8%, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, 8% is pretty good for Dark Magician. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Dark Magician is just a pretty stable deck in the meta right now. They haven't like faltered too much. They're doing a lot better now than they were, pre-ban list for sure.
Well, I feel like Konami is always in the boardroom and they're like, all right, we got to have an anime deck on top all the time. Dark Magician's there, and they have like the Blue Eyes team that's just like, they're constantly trying to come up with ways like, how do we get this thing back in? How do we get this thing back in? Do we got to invent cards? What do we got to do? What do we got to do? And they release something like, all right, in the new box, we're going to release 3 more cards. It'll keep it in the meta. And then it just doesn't work. Whereas Dark Magician, it just stays in there.
You got to give us alternative, man. All right.
All right, moving right along. What are we going into? 4th place. This is the deck I thought was going to die off, just to like completely die off. And it has started to, but here we are. Karakuri at 4th place with 14 points. It did, that's the Meta Freakly Sunday. It did win the Meta Freakly Sunday.
And yeah, Karakuri is one deck that just gets absolutely demolished by System Down. It has no counterplay. 0 counterplay to System Down. Literally, if you are afraid of Karakuri or you don't know how to play Karakuri, don't worry. Put 3 System Down in your side deck. You have 7 cards. You have 7 cards space to put in your side deck now. You can afford to put 3 System Down and just win the game when you see Shiranui. It's all right. I mean,
Karakuri, yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's devastating. I'm surprised it did this well because you're gonna see we can get right into conversion rates. The overall representation's way down compared to what it was. It's 83, which is still healthy, but that's way down for this deck. 2-3 weeks ago, this was not doubled, but it was in the hundreds.
Yeah, for sure. People are seeing that this deck is just very easy to counter in the side deck format, and probably opting for decks like Combo Shiranui. That's probably where a lot of this deck's players went to.
You mean Shiranui?
Shiranui.
Just Shiranui.
Shiranui.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Karakuri. We'll this is one we want to keep our eye on. I'm not going to say it's falling out of the meta, but it's not going to be rising in the meta. I don't believe.
Yeah, definitely not. I think it's going to keep declining. To be honest.
All right, we'll wait and see. All right, and then in 5th place, this is a deck I always like. This is a deck that Kamel hates. He'll even do the line. Actually, this is where the line came from. But it's 5th place is Ritual Beast. I don't know if there's much to say here. This is the combo version, right, of Ritual Beast?
The combo Ritual Beasts. I mean, this is Ritual Beast now, man. I mean, because Shadow Game is no more. Right? Shadow Game is a trash skill on Ritual Beasts now. You can only control them down to a certain point. It defeats the purpose of you not having to play aggressively. So now Ritual Beasts, they got to play aggressively. So they're opting to play cards like the Ambush again that they were tossing aside for opting of controlling back row. Yep. And yeah, they're just doing what they have to do. Ritual Beasts better than me. So like, how are their matchups right now?
They're pretty good. I mean, being able to use the Dolphin 3 times in one turn is pretty hot, Yeah. And then
that's very effective against a lot of decks right now. There's nothing like Casitas. Again, Casitas allowing for a lot of these decks to perform very well because they don't have that hurdle. Right, that was the big thing before.
And this one doesn't have Rampengu in it. We were just talking with Herf the other day about how great of a secondary starter that card can be. But we see a lot of OTKing too with this now. They're able with doing the Dolphin 3 times, and they're able to like OTK, break it, or attack, break it down, and then use the quick play spell to build it back up and attack again. So we see a lot of stuff like that. So it's a quicker deck. Actually, the Kriston Ritual Beast finals that I had, it was not like a 45, 50-minute match. It was like 20 minutes because both decks can OTK now. So
I will say though, from this week, from last week to this week, Ritual Beasts were really just getting shut down in top 16 of the tournaments.
I'm sure it's just poisonous winds everywhere, right?
Right, yeah, poisonous winds. Ritual Beasts again, another deck that is very easy to side deck against. If you have trouble facing Ritual Beasts, if you do not like them, you can run through Poisonous Winds because of 7-card side deck format. So always remember that.
I just checked out these conversion rates though. Look at that, 100 people played it.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
Ritual Beast becoming very popular now, but a 4% conversion rate. It's got that Shiranui conversion rate.
Well, I think a lot of people are getting advice of, it's if you're a new player, it's easy to get in to be your first competitive deck. So get in there, learn the combos. They're not that hard. It just takes time. So they get in there, they do that, and then those people that told them to play Ritual Beast forgot to mention Poisonous Winds. So you get all these new guys in there in their first tournament. They're like, all right, Canahawk, take him back, search a card. Man, I'm cruising. This is great.
Canahawk, take him back, search a card. He's dead. He's jamming his stuff to the music, and then Poisonous Winds, and he's like, oh.
What do I do now? What do I do now?
Oh,
poor guys. But yeah, 4%, that's probably the lowest of the week of the top 5. So, but that's about it. We'll get into the at a glance here. Overall representation. Look at Shiranui just destroying everybody.
Whoa.
Double the second place.
Blackwings. Whoa, we got to talk about that.
Where's Blackwings?
107 representation.
Where'd they end up on the power rankings? Let me pull it up
Where
here.
they at?
Let me pull it up. Blackwings, they got a second place and 3 top 8s. So,
oh my gosh!
So they ended up in 8th place. That's not too bad. I do want to point out both Roids did win the Meta Weekly and top 4 in the Meta Freakly Friday.
All right.
But another deck that had a similar score was Blackwings. They tied Blackwings. So there you go.
So what's up with Blackwings?
I don't know.
I don't know what's up with Blackwings.
They've just fallen off, I guess. Well, with the ban list.
Guys. I know Resolene will probably let us know. But yeah, overall representation, Shiranui, man. I mean, 2 ways to play the same deck, double the representation.
Which one did I want to point out? Oh, Witchcrafters. 35 people played it. 0 top 8s.
Oh my gosh!
They scored no points.
No points. The fall of Witchcrafters. The limits are very, very strong on them. So they're the first to sink.
Yeah. I do want to look up the Invoked Roid numbers here so I can prepare for her. It had a 4% conversion rate to the top 8. So there you go.
All right. So you can tell him in the follow-up video. You can shove it in his face.
I'm already working the angle right here. All right, conversion rates. #1 deck this week is Goki.
Whoa! Goki. What the heck, Goki?
Yeah, Goki actually had a pretty good week. Not enough to make it into the top 5 where we cover it. It fell just short. It fell just short this week because it tied with Ritual Beast, and Ritual Beast had a better record. So
Goki, yeah, I see here. So it won the. Oh, didn't win a tournament this week. He got second in the battle.
Ritual Beast won, yeah. So that's why.
See. All right.
That's why Ritual Beast got the 5th place instead of Goki. So Goki's doing better than Invoked Neos. I'm just saying, or Invoked Roids. I'm just saying. Goki's.
Yeah, man. Goki always, back row man. Gotta love it.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
But then look at the bottom there. Blue Eyes 3%. Cyberdrake is 3%. Invoked Roids 4%.
Yeah, they're climbing in there, man. They're climbing in there. I don't see Arrow Mage though.
That's at 0%. That I can just right off the top of my head. Right off the top of my head. Top 8 finishes. Look at this. Shiranui with 19 top 8 finishes. That's crazy. Crystron's Dark Magician, Goki, Heroes, Karakuri. Where's Invoked Roids 2? There you go. 2.
Right. So this right here is very indicative of what you're gonna see in the later stages of the tournament, and these are the decks that really have that late game success, the later stage of the tournament success really versatile decks, Shiranui and Crystron's Dark Magician, decks that just have those really clear win conditions that are, easy to recover from. So yeah.
I just want to shout Heretics and Mayakashi.
Getting in there.
Those. Yeah,
I saw the Heretic deck yesterday. That was nuts. It was pretty interesting.
All right, and then most victories this week, as you could probably guess, was Shiranui with 2, Dark Magician with 2.
Right.
Oh, so that's me. Yep. That's really about it. We say the meta's in flux, but it has the I don't know, the meta, it changed, but it stayed the same. You know what I mean? Maybe we got rid of 1 or 2 decks, but
yeah, it changed, but it stayed the same. There are definitely, like, going forward, right? What you have to think about, what we lost. We lost 2 powerful skills that increase consistency in invoke decks, and then we lost the most powerful invoke engine. So that is something that a lot of these decks that were formerly oppressed by that, they don't have to worry about that anymore. Shiranui was probably one of those decks that were getting oppressed by that, being that purgatory of fodder. Now they're running free without that.
Yeah.
They don't have the fear of getting flipped over by Malehu, or there's no other really powerful back row deck besides themselves, right? They're the dominant back row deck.
Right. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. Mini box coming up in a few weeks, I would hope, at this point.
Yes, I'm looking at 1 to 2 weeks for the mini box. So
hopefully that has some impact. People are dying for the meta to change. It slightly changed. But
make sure you click that notification bell so you get notified as soon as that box comes out.
Because
the review.
Yeah, Kamel's gonna be up at like 3 a.m. reviewing it with PDS and Rye. All right, you guys know what to do at this point in the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But most important thing is get in our Discord, because that's where we host all of our tournaments, and they're always free to play.
Yes, that's right. Recently, we have been hitting those donation goals consistently, so we're having a lot of pop-up tournaments on Tuesday and Saturday very often, and then the 25th through the 31st is Spook Phase. Every day of the week is going to be a $50 tournament, right?
Yes, and the pop-ups are scheduled throughout November, or halfway through November already. So
yes, and then we're also having Raid Shadow Legends $100 cash prize tournament, so please get in the Discord.
That would be today if you're watching the video when this video came out. It's today, so you better sign up now.
It's today.
Yeah,
it's today.
I believe it's today.
So go sign up. If you are a daily Twitch subscriber, you get guaranteed entry to all the tournaments, regardless of the cap. So that's a benefit you may want to go for if you want to get in all these tournaments.
And if you're not a Twitch subscriber, do not ask me to drop somebody else so we can get you in. All right, that's like the #1 thing.
That's very important.
Hey, Circus, is it possible to drop somebody so I can? I would like to play, but it's full.
I would like to play Arrow Mage in the tournament today. But it is full.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you guys liked the video. We'll see you next time. I'm Circus.
Peace out, guys.
That's Kamel. We'll see you next time.